Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to be joining our client machine to the domain. So to begin, we are going to go to our network and sharing center. Oh, just made a mistake. I clicked on the troubleshooter there. Alright, so we're going to go to the sharing options. What we want to do is make sure that network discovery and sharing is turned on for each of these categories, for the public networks and the private networks, just to make sure that we don't have any issues searching for and connecting to our domain. Turn these to on. Alright, so we're going to save changes. Next, we are going to want to make some changes as well to our adapter settings. This is so that based on the IP scheme that we provided our server with, we now want to give our client machine a similar IP scheme so that we can have communication to and forth. So we're going to disable IPv6 because it's not a protocol we're going to be using. And here we will assign an appropriate IP address so that we have communication with our client machine and with our Windows 2008 server. Once we have that confirmed, so we just need to make sure that we have our client machine with the correct network configuration within VirtualBox. So we go to the settings of that system and then go to the network tab. We want to change this drop down list from network attached NAT to host only adapter. And after that, in the advanced settings, we want to also adjust the promiscuous mode to allow all. Once you have those selected, you should be good to go. Go ahead and click on OK to close the settings window for your client machine. Bear in mind your server machine should also be on these same settings if it wasn't already done. Alright, so we are back on our client machine once again. What comes to mind is that one of the ideal things for us to check, at least for this demonstration, is that we want to ensure that we do indeed have communication with the client machine and with the server. One of the easiest ways to test that is by doing a ping command within the command prompt. So here you see we send a ping command directly to our server, and just for good measure, we even send a ping command to the client machine itself. But as we see, we had communication, so we should have zero problems connecting this client machine to the domain. So we're now within the computer properties section, and before we proceed to actually add the system to the domain, we want to disable our Windows firewall, because some people do experience difficulty sometimes with Windows firewall when joining domains. So just for this example, we're going to turn this off for now. so that we have a smooth operation going on. So you can right click on computer and then go to computer properties, and on this window what you would do next is click on the option that says change setting. On the next window that opens up, click on the change button and then click on domain. So what I'm thinking is I just want to make sure that we add the system to the correct domain. So we're just temporarily visiting our Windows server to verify what the name of the domain was, and there we see it. It's iTech server, one word, iTech server. Of course, when you're entering this into your client machine, the case doesn't really matter. It can be uppercase or lowercase, so don't be alarmed by the uppercase on the server machine. So here we're just going to type that exact same thing into the domain that we want to join, and of course we add the .com at the end. Once you have that bit of information entered, click on OK. What you would notice next is that because we're going to join our domain, one of the security settings that apply to domains is that when you're joining, you're going to have to enter a valid user and password combination. So it must be a user that exists within the domain already. We already created our James Yeager user profile with the J Yeager username, and of course we have the password. So that's the one we're going to use to join the client to the domain. So here we see that we received the welcome prompt. Click on OK and click on OK again, and what you're going to notice next is that you should receive a prompt to restart the machine. And of course, once the system restarts, it will be a part of that iTech server domain. So we're going to click OK on this prompt, click on close, and we're going to restart now. Of course, the restart process takes some time, so we're going to cut the video just to save it from being too lengthy. Alright, so we're going to come back when the system has actually restarted. So we have returned to our client machine. We're going to hit on the back arrow and click on other user. One of the first things you should notice is that it says sign in to, and then the domain that we previously joined. So that's one of the ways you know that you're actually on the domain. So go ahead and enter the username that we created and the password and click on enter. Because this is now a new user signing in to our client machine, we're going to get these initial welcomes and apps being installed, etc. by the system. Alright, so there it is, we're signed in. You can see James Yeager to the top right corner. Tells us that we're signed in with that domain account. So what we're going to do next is just check out a few things that also tells us that we are indeed on the iTech server domain. One of those things is going back to the computer properties. Previously it would have said that we were in a work group, but if you pay attention to what's on screen now, you would actually see that it tells us we're on the itechserver.com domain. Right in the domain section here that you see highlighted in our red rectangle. So this also tells us that we have successfully joined the iTech server domain. Something else that I like to show is that when you're on a domain, this is one of the times where a company could share folders with its employees. And this is the way you do it, by mapping network drives. You will select the drive letter, type the location of the folders where they're shared, and then click finish. When we actually have folders set up, we would see exactly how those work. For now, that's it.